So you get shots down here, you get shots like across your forehead, you get them in your hairline, and like, you know, right here especially, there's no like fat or anything there. I mean, you're like skin and bones, that's all it is. And so when she starts injecting the solution stuff in there, like you can hear it. Like you hear it like it's like a turkey baster, but like a tiny little noise in it. Like you can hear the squish under your skin. Really weird. Hi guys. I'm gonna try to catch up on everything that happened this week. This would be like the week from hell. Like, it was so rough from start to finish. And it has ended with me getting the flu, which is way less good because my body can't handle a lot right now. So I'm gonna break this up into, I don't remember how many videos, but I wrote them all down. So I'll make a playlist with all of them, and then they'll be tagged into the regular playlists and all that good stuff too. I sound like Phoebe on that episode of Friends. Smelly cat. Sexy phlegm. Okay, we are gonna start with the first. Okay, this week I was supposed to have, I was really only supposed to have 2 back-to-back appointments with Neurology. I was supposed to have my 3rd Botox session, and then I was supposed to have a follow-up. It turned into 4 trips, at least 4 trips, an ER stay. Yeah, it's been a rough week. So, okay, I'm gonna start with the fact. So the appointments, 3 appointments ended up being Tuesday. So my first 2 appointments on Tuesday were the Botox follow-up, Botox and follow-up with Neurology. And so I go in for the Botox first, but it's in kind of like the afternoon, like 1 o'clock, something like that. I think it was the first time period, 1:30, anyway, something like that. And that morning I had been at work and all was pretty okay. And then all of a sudden, like, my whole side lit up where I have all those complications from the feeding tube. And I was having to lay on my couch at work trying to get it to go away. It was awful. It was just as bad as it was the first hospital stay for the feeding tube. I was miserable. Oh my gosh, I was in so much pain. I took ibuprofen earlier that I normally do. Nothing was helping, sitting, standing, laying, stretching, nothing. It was awful. I had pain patches on. I mean, nothing was working. So then I have to get in the car for hour and a half to get to my health system. So I get over there and get checked in, and they're always crazy fast in Neurology. So they got all the things set up, and the other reason that I went to Neurology, like for the follow-up, because I had to follow up after the Botox, but I have been waiting almost 4 weeks to get in to see her, because 3 of my other subspecialties, interventional radiology, GI, and pain management, all wanted me to talk to my neurologist to see what tests we could run to figure out what exactly has gone wrong in my abdomen. Because CT scans aren't showing it, but they're not going to show, like, you know, a nerve cluster that's been hit, or, you know, muscles that are compromised. So anyway, so I've been waiting to get there to finally get help. It was kind of like my holy grail, you know? So we do Botox first. And so you start by laying, this is how I do it with my neurologist. So I lay down on a, like a, you know, office table, exam table, whatnot. And so you lay down, head towards her, and So I have to take off my sunglasses when I have to do that, which is hard for me because the lights are so bright in there. So, and they like line up all the syringes with all the Botox stuff. And so you get shots down here, you get shots like across your forehead, you get them in your hairline, and like, you know, right here especially, there's no like fat or anything there. I mean, you're like skin and bones, that's all it is. And so when she starts injecting the solution stuff in there, like you can hear it. Like you hear it like it's like a turkey baster, but like a tiny little noise in it. Like you can hear the squish under your skin. Really weird. So all of this is done, and then she does like 3 shots around this ear and 3 shots around this ear. And she does some right in the top, and then I sit up, and I normally get in a chair that's lower so she can reach everything. Oh, my eyes are so dry. And then, so she like parts my hair down the middle and separates it. And then there's shots done in like a triangle configuration. I hope you can hear me. So there's shots done in a triangle configuration. And then, so the first time that we did the Botox, we were on a normal protocol. And so shots are done like down your neck, like down the line of your, or like both sides of your spine, down here. And then there are shots done like in your shoulders. So the first time I had Botox, like a week, oh my God, I got so out of breath. Lordy, it's been a rough week. Man. So the first time that we did Botox, that was the normal protocol. And she did them down my neck and then my shoulders. About a week after I'd had the shots done. The only way I can describe it is that I had like a floppy head that like I couldn't pick up my head right. And it was so tired. Like my neck was so tired of just holding up my head. And it lasted a long time. It lasted almost 2 weeks that I had trouble. So the second round that we had done, I told her about it, told her that I was having problems and whatnot. And so we changed to another protocol that everything is the same except the neck ones in the back. She didn't do these, and she did them higher, like in my hairline, like in here. So anyway, so that's what we did the second round. And the second round, actually, it was better. I didn't have as much floppy head at all. I mean, it was a huge difference. So we decided to do that again, and I was just supposed to remind her. So when I get in there to Tuesday to do the shots, and I was like, and I was supposed to remind you that I can't have them down my neck. I have to have them hidden. And she was like, you know, it's really funny that we changed everything last time. And she said, they completely changed the protocol in the last 12 weeks, and now nobody gets the floppy head shots. So that was really good. So I'm getting all my shots. So I have felt horrible for days and days and days. I had already needed to go to the emergency room the weekend before, but I was so exhausted that I just didn't go. I'm having massive problems digesting food right now, like any food. I'll get to that in another one. So I don't have enough nutrition. Obviously I've got feeds running, but everything is so upset right now. I'm having trouble running feeds over like 15-20 mils an hour, which is like, it's seriously nothing. I mean, it's such a little amount of nutrition. And I've had horrible pain all day in my whole side. I have been in the car, which makes me car sick on top of everything else. And so she starts doing the shots, and it's so funny, like I'm a pincushion at this point, and so it's just like the stick doesn't bother me. Like it's just, it's so fast, you know, it just doesn't matter. But when you are having 31 shots, like one after another, after another, after another, I've always tried to count them because I know how many shots I'm getting, so at least I would know how many to go. So every time I've tried to count them, every time I failed. Every time I failed because I can't concentrate because it's so awful. So I got done with the ones on my forehead. I got done with the triangles and my hairline. So I guess it was just my shoulders that I had left, which is like 7 shots. Which still sounds like a lot now that, well, that I think about it now, because it was just awful. So I'm already upset for like 14,000 things. And so she gets to my right shoulder and I just start bawling. Like I couldn't process the pain any longer. Oh my gosh, it was awful. So I start crying. She's like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I was like, it's not you, you know, like I'm just upset and overwhelmed by everything. And it was just like poking the bear, you know? So I cried through the right shoulder, I cried through the left shoulder. I get done and she's like, she's so adorable. And she's trying to like pat me. She's very cute. So I finally get done and then I have to sit there like I'm shaking so bad. I'm so upset. Like I can't just like, it was really rough. So I'm super upset. And now we have to directly roll into my follow-up. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to come over here so I don't have to stand up anymore, because holy goodness, I'm tired. Okay, so I'm trying to get myself under control. Like any appointment that I have, I always make notes. You know, it's the only way that I'm gonna remember anything. Oh wait, hold on. I have to get you set down again. Hello. Y'all are gonna be squidgy here for a second. Okay. So I sit down and I've got all my notes like ready to go. Oh, I look like a hot mess today. So we first decided to talk about the Botox stuff and how it was going. So I keep, let me grab it so I can show you guys. Okay, I keep a log for headaches and migraines and that stuff, because I just figured it's the only way that I was going to be able to tell, like on a larger scale, how things are going. Okay, so my charts look like this. So they're double-sided because I have to have, it's 12 weeks between sections of shots. So I have a date, I have a scale from 1 to 10, how bad the headaches or migraines were. Is it a regular headache or a migraine headache? If I had to secondarily treat it, I have migraine bombs. They're called rizatriptan. And if you get a migraine and the fastest that you can treat, you take 1 pill, and they make me feel pretty lolly, and they're hard on my GI tract, which everything's hard on my GI tract. And so you wait an hour. If it hasn't helped or it's not anywhere close to good enough, you can take a second one, but you can only take 2 in a 24-hour period. I can never take 2 because 1 is hard enough on my system. So it's that, and then I have another column, did it fix it? Like if I took extra meds, did it fix it? And then I have another, like a big line on the side, and that's all about, I used that one as actually kind of a general catch-all of what was going on that day. So did I get Botox? Did I have any other testing done? Was I sick? Like now I have the flu, and so I write all of that stuff down so I have an ability to go back weeks and weeks and weeks and see. I also write down side effects of any medication that I'm trying. I'll write down new medications and when I'm trying them, and that's for anything. That's GI, that's neuro, that's endocrinology, that's anything. So I keep these, and before my neuro walked in the office, I decided to count my migraine days on the first section and then the second section. And so she's asking me, how's it going? Like, what do I think about the Botox? And I'm trying to tell her I'm still upset from everything that's happened that day. I'm still my body's freaked out because of all the shots and all the Botox running through it at this point. And I said, this last, like the second round, that 12 weeks, is the worst my headaches and migraines have ever been, literally in the history of my life. And they were horrible before. So the first 12 weeks, I counted up, and now I want to preface this with, I have a headache every day. Looking at all of my weeks and weeks and weeks, my least amount of pain, headache pain on a daily basis, is about a 7 out of 10. That's the lowest my pain days have been in half a year. It's a lot. It's a lot of headache days. A lot of bad headache days. And so in the first 12 weeks, I had 36 migraines. It's more than a month of migraines. Like, it is so awful. And in the second round of 12 weeks, I had 54. So when I told her that, like when I had to actually like face the fact that they were the worst that they've ever been, I got upset again, started crying for a second time. Like I was so upset. And she's like, you know, we've got a couple other options, you know, if the Botox doesn't work. And like, to me, like, the Botox was the end all be all. Like, that's what's gonna fix it, you know. And a lot of people with my conditions, you know, EDS and POTS and all the extra, you know, joint and muscle problems and all that, Botox has really seemed to help. But all of my stuff is so interconnected that it's like we can't fix even one thing right now. It's super frustrating. So I'm upset again, talking about how many migraine days I had. Hold on. Okay, so she's like, you know, how do you feel about it? How do you think about it? And I said, it's all horrible. And I said, except for one thing. And I said, since I had so many migraines this 12-week period, I was having to treat a whole heck of a lot more often than I normally do. And it just seemed like when I had the bombs this time, like during this round, they helped more, which obviously isn't ideal. I mean, I don't want to have to deal with migraines at all, but at least it felt like I was having more relief off of the extra bombs than I did, you know, before that. I mean, any time before that. And so she was like, well, that's good, you know, that's something. And she's like, you know, we do have other options. She's like, you know, we're gonna try this another round, and then depending upon how it goes, she gave me some other name, a yo-yo, I don't remember what it was like an A word. And she said that some people that fail out of Botox, they can use that, and it's like a once a month injection, and it's just one injection instead of 30,000. So anyway, so we kind of have, there's at least another option, which I guess helped and made me feel a little bit better. And then I switched over to talking about the problems that I was having with the feeding tube pain and all the muscle cramping and all that. And so I told her everything that was going on and what I'd gone through and all the side effects and complications and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, you know, so everybody keeps telling me to come talk to you, so I've been waiting a month, you know, to talk to you about it, to see what we can figure out. And she was like, yeah, I don't know. And it wasn't like an I don't know, let's figure it out. It was an I don't know, you need to go back to GI and interventional radiology and pain management. And it was just like, I had such high expectations that literally took my knees out from under me. I like, my whole brain shut down. Like, I'd never in my wildest dreams had the even inkling that I wasn't gonna, that they wouldn't be able to even run tests to figure out what the problem is. It was awful. Oh my gosh, I was so upset. And so like, we talked about it for a few more minutes, And it was like I ran through everything again, and I was like, you know, it absolutely feels like a problem with a nerve. Like a nerve is being touched somewhere that it doesn't like, and then it's setting off all of these muscle cramps in my side. Oh my gosh. And she was like, yeah, I just don't know. She's like, it's not coming from your spine. And so she's like, I don't know what it would be. I don't even know what tests we would run. You know, you really need to go back to them and talk to them about it. I was devastated. Like oh my God, I was already on the upset bandwagon, and then not having any, I just didn't know that it was a possibility that I wasn't gonna get help. It was so awful. And so she got me scheduled for the next appointment, and then I left, and it was like, it was all I could do not to just be a blubbering pile of girl trying to get checked out and get my car back. And oh my gosh, it was awful. So I talked to the amazing boyfriend, and I just boo-hooed. I was so sad. And what made this hard is I had another appointment right after this. So I literally had like 3 minutes by the time I got my car and got to the other building that I had to drop it off and deal with more people. Oh my God, I was so upset. So I'll cover that one in the next video. But it was really, really awful. It was awful not getting help that I was hoping for. And here's hoping on this round of Botox that it's a little bit better. Let me see how many days it's been. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's been 12 days since I've had it, and I've had migraines 8 of the days. So yeah, so headaches and migraines and all that stuff aren't going super duper well, but we'll try this round again and then other options. So lordy, nothing can just be easy, right? So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe and tell all your friends. Yay! All right, more to come. Bye.